Happy Thursday, everyone. What a great show we have. Brett Baer is here. Yes. I think it's Brett Baer. Either that or it's Teddy Ruxpin. Just in case I put in new batteries.
Okay.
David McDowell is here. I know, because I can smell the crawfish in her purse. So as the country reels from a bizarre historic raid of a former president's house, our current president leaves for vacation. Let's hope he tries parasailing or base jumping or, even more dangerous, takes the stairs at the hotel. But he deserves a break, for as you know, he's done so much. First, he put on his jacket. This after he slow danced with it for 15 minutes first. But that was a crowning achievement of his presidency so far, just eclipsing that time he made a solid boom-boom in the press office bathroom. Well, near the press office bathroom. Sorry, Brett. So after approximately 4 minutes of actual work, where his hands were busier than a CNN producer on Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, Biden hops on a plane. He hops on a plane, and not just with Dr. Jill, you know, the noted pediatric neurosurgeon who discovered a cure for hemorrhoids when Joe accidentally sat on a stack of bingo chips. He invited his son, Hunter, to fly along. Not sure Hunter really needs a plane to do that. But there he is with Joe getting ready to leave. I think we have tape of the actual flight with Hunter. Yep. Frankly, we've seen better behavior on the Lolita Express. By the way, he's not the only freeloading family member who enjoys free trips on your dime. Pelosi's son also accompanied her on the recent trip to Taiwan. You know, the trip that almost caused a war. She wants us all to believe that even though he and her husband have got business dealings there, that's just a coincidence. That's like Hunter and Joe saying they just go to China for authentic Kung Pao chicken. Nancy said her son was there as her escort, to which Hunter said, "Damn, that's even too kinky for me." But I guess she's trying to save face. That's the point. No surprise, though, she's down to the last 3 that she keeps in the fridge. Every time she reaches for a pint of chocolate Haagen-Dazs, she's looking back at herself. But what a stark contrast to how Trump's family got treated this week. Biden and Pelosi's flying around. Trump's house gets raided. Oh, sorry, did I say raided? How dare you say the lockstep lemmings working from the same script?
And I know Donald Trump is saying that this is a raid, but that's a gross exaggeration.
But we have to be careful not to adopt the term raid.
This was not a raid.
It is not a raid.
It's not a raid.
Trump talks about a raid on his home. No, man, there was no raid on your home.
Let's be polite and call it a search and not a raid.
It wasn't a raid on his house. No doors were kicked down.
It's amazing how they sound all alike. So it's not a raid because no doors were kicked down. See, I don't think you need to kick a door down when you're armed and the door is already open for you, you butthead. I'm sorry. Is he Butthead or Beavis? I keep forgetting. Too mean. And yeah, it was just a search, not a raid. More like an Easter egg hunt. A bachelorette scavenger hunt. It was early trick-or-treating, and they were just dressed up as cops. So now the media cares about words. After completely mistreating the English language like they were Kevin Spacey at the Little League World Series. What are you moaning about? A woman's no longer a woman, a recession is no longer a recession, now a raid is a search. It's so funny watching the media try to play this off as a trifle when you know if it happened to one of their own, they'd blow up like Paul Pelosi's airbag. I wonder what he's up to. He'll be out in no time. But maybe we'll see how they react when inevitably it happens to Hunter and Joe. They assume they're above the law, much like most Democrats when Democrats are in power. But do they ever think ahead? They won't always be in power. Of course, the White House claims Joe had no idea of the raid on a living president. How amazing is that? I mean, I get hiding things from Joe, like his car keys and ponytails. But this is kind of a big deal. I wonder, what's going on in Mr. Biden's neighborhood?
Hi, neighbor. Look, you might have heard about a raid. There wasn't any raid. There was no raid. It was just a neighborly visit. Hey, it's a neighbor popping in on a neighbor, unexpected. It's fun. You go through the closets and, you know what's in my closet? A sweater. I love sweaters, don't you? I love coming home at the end of the day, putting on a sweater. Oh, hold on a second.
Meanwhile, during all this, Hillary is fundraising off her own crimes. She's selling merch off the back of the Mar-a-Lago raid, posting an image of a new piece of clothing on her Twitter account, which bore the slogan, "But her emails," a reference to the scandal about her use of a private email server for official communications, which she's mocking. She promoted the $30 hat on Monday, saying every hat sold would help defend democracy, fight for our values, and also hide the male pattern baldness of every feminist. But her emails, so cute. Why should she stop there? I can see a few more Clinton-related swag along the same lines as "but her emails." How about "but her blue dress"? But his missing cigar. But her getting shellacked in 2016. And finally, I know this one will take up a lot of room on the hat, but gotta do it. But Bill goes to Pedophile Island and Epstein gets murdered. I'm kidding. I kid the old bag. Fact is, there are different rules for these elites than there are for others. Say what you will about Trump, he was the opposite of elite. Next to Jay-Z or Dr. Dre, he's the most streetwise billionaire ever. And that's why they hated him. Like Kilmeade's tapeworm, they couldn't control him. Hence, we now hear about there being an FBI informant in his own house. It's pretty gross, right? But what do you expect from a government that helped organize the kidnapping of Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer? Gavin Newsom would have been so much easier. You just approach him with a van full of hair gel. But it's crazy. You can now spy on an ex-pres, provided he's not a Dem. But if you can't find a crime, then you can create it. The only problem is it's going to come back to haunt you, right? If the Republicans take back the House, then they should raid Biden's. I can just picture it. FBI guys leaving with 15 boxes of oatmeal, denture cream, and coloring books. But as Hunter Biden once said as he entered the Bunny Ranch, game on, bitches. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's covered more news than a parent with diarrhea. Host of Special Report, Bret Baier. She's nuttier than a porta potty at a peanut festival. Fox Business anchor Dagan McDowell. She's like the Magna Carta, difficult to read and covered in dust. Fox News contributor Kat Timpf. And anacondas are his dental floss. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Television Champion, Tyrus.
Let me just say
Yes.
that I think you brought the heat tonight.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, this was a top-notch monologue. I love the show, but I'm always amazed that administration officials come on my show after watching the monologue. It's truly amazing.
Yeah, it is kind of strange, you know, that some of the things I'm doing. But I know you're trying to butter me up because you didn't read the topics.
I read through, in between the show, I read.
You know, you don't have to read. All you got to do is say what you said already today. That's what everybody does.
Okay.
Now, where do you see this going, right? I mean, do you think there's actually going to be something there? Because if there's nothing there, then Merrick Garland looks pretty bad.
Really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, if it does not deliver, it looks really bad. The Attorney General said that they filed to unseal this search warrant. That's the next battle, and it's going to come to a head tomorrow.
Yeah, I couldn't understand any of that legal stuff, to be honest with you. Like, the warrant isn't the thing, it's the affidavit, right? We were going around and around and around on the 5, and I'm like, get me the hell out of here.
Yeah. The judge was against Harold.
Harold, they do this, it's like, you know what, just get a room.
I think it's going to be fascinating tomorrow, but listen, the bottom line is if it's about documents and classified documents and whether he should have them or not, I think there's a lot of people that say there's got to be more there.
Yeah, you know, Dagan, you have a choice. You can talk about that. You can talk about Hillary trying to make some dough. You can talk about anything you want, except what happened in the green room. That was not my fault.
Well, since you opened comparing me to a porta-john full of
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
And,
At a peanut festival.
And since you booked the chief political correspondent or anchor.
It's anchor.
Yeah.
Anchor.
You know, look at the big brain on Brett. I'm just going to sit over here and work up some Tata and pickup truck jokes and just pick my teeth and glare at Brett and make him uncomfortable. These are politicians on the left that deserve comeuppance. One, just stone cold stupidity. Joe Biden and Familia go to Kiowa Island, South Carolina in the middle of August. Nobody on the planet does that.
Real.
It's muggy, buggy. You can't play golf because the sweat runs from your armpits all the way down the club.
Ugh.
And then Hillary, she's thinking in her mind she's going to get back in the game, and she hasn't dumped that drooling walrus of a husband yet.
Yeah, that's true. He's still there.
Okay, now I'll shut up.
I think I applaud. What do you think, Tyrus?
I think Dagan's going to kick your ass after the show.
I'm hoping she doesn't kick
You said
my
her purse, yeah. No, you're good. I got
Okay,
you. bro.
thanks,
I got
man.
Oh, you'll defend him, but not me.
No, you got it coming.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you said her purse was full of a bag of crawfish. That's in Louisiana. That's not a compliment. No. You're never gonna get. Why? Thank you. You're never gonna get that.
Yeah, women smell like seafood. That's
Yeah.
a real fun joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not what I meant.
I could be, bruh. I would be on an ocean for 5 weeks with no roof and sitting next to a woman, and I still wouldn't say. You smell like. You know, while she's eating a raw shark in her teeth.
People are mean to me
I
today.
still would say, "Wow, is that lemon?"
I'm a patriot. You can't insult me.
You're,
According to Merrick Garland.
you know, I think it's important that we remember. We gotta let this go. I just. When November comes, we got to get to work. We can't waste time chasing up. What are we going to find in Biden's house? Like open cans of tapioca everywhere, notes, depends, angry post-its from his wife, you know, maps to the bathroom. Like we're not going to find anything we want to find.
Yeah.
The smart thing to do was to usher him away, because could you imagine him answering the questions right now? Raid, you know, or search, he wouldn't be able to answer any of those questions because they would be raiding the White House, searching for him to bring him to the front. So they carried him away and let him stay there while this blows up in their face so he can try to say it's not him. Where's the VP in all this?
That's a good question. Where is she? I don't know.
Kat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kat, you have a report on her whereabouts to read to us right now?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't think anyone does. We just know so little still, I think. And the Merrick Garland, hearing from him today, well, what was that? Like, he got up there and he's like, yeah, I did it. It is a big deal. I am going to unseal the warrant. In the meantime, please remember that the FBI rules. And we need more information because now it's just people saying the same one of two things back and forth. It's like, well, if this wasn't a big deal, then they really overdid it, and that's going to make Trump win. Or because they did all this, it must be a big deal, and Trump's going to go to jail. Blah, 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 blah. And that's my impression of Special Report.
I was just going to say that this is really insightful, and you could definitely be on the panel.
She holds a grudge.
Just exploded.
She holds a grudge.
I've been on the panel. It is wonderful. Mr. Bear does a phenomenal job.
I was almost there. I was almost there.
I did not see that coming.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. That's like all the guys after I got married being like, I should have taken you more seriously. Like, no.
When I was on, he even took the glasses off to ask me a tough question. I was like, yeah, you know you're in when Brett Baer takes the glasses off.
Oh, my God.
They're right over here.
I didn't even predict that this would go in such a weird direction. But that's why this show rules, okay?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.